Don't you take it so hard now.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Monday, September 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 95. In hour one of today's show, we'll recap LSU season opening loss to the USC Trojans out there in Las Vegas. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from Las Vegas, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in to another episode of Off the Bench. It is 5 a.m. here in this hellscape of a city that we're still trapped in after a fifth opening season loss in a row for LSU. If you are coming here for rage or energy, I'm sorry, I'm just not sure that I have anything for you. But we will discuss the game, the nuances, what went well, what went wrong, and just really our overall takes on it. But it's 5 years in a row. You know, a story as old as many of your kids now at this point. LSU losing a major season opener once again. I'm Taylor back home. I think with Musso producing. Shout out Bo Wegman here on site. Jake, how we feeling, dude?
Yeah, I mean, just like you are, 5 years in a row at a place like LSU, program like LSU is just, it's not acceptable. And I think everybody knows that from the top to the bottom, every single fan. I mean, everybody knows that. It's something that all these games, I guess, have been a little bit different, but they all have been the same as well. And it is frustrating because there's so many different moments that we're going to point to throughout today's show where you had a chance. You had a chance to take the game over. You had a chance to take the lead. You had a chance to put them away. And, yet again, like I said, it's kind of the same story. Last year you kind of started the same against Florida State. You drive the ball right down the field, and everybody's feeling really good about it. You don't come away with points. And same situation this year, too. And then when it happened, you're kind of like, man, that just feels eerily similar to what we saw just a year ago. And there's going to be probably 5 or 6 points when you go back and watch on tape that are going to just make you sick to your stomach.
I'm very interested to watch the tape of this game because this did feel like a game that ultimately, I guess, well, you know what, boys, before we get any further, let's go ahead and give a shout-out to our guys at Tiger Labor and Staffing. Let's get it started.
It's time to get to work. Courtesy of Tiger Labor and Staffing, where they can help take care of screening, training, payroll, and more. Now, for starters.
Shout out Tiger Labor and Staffing, getting the show started here. Remember, if you are looking for the right person for your job, this could be anything, construction, industrial, even clerical work. Tiger Labor Staffing is your turnkey service to find you the right person. It could be that same day. So whether you're looking for work or you need someone to work, either way, you go get in touch with Tiger Labor and Staffing. Jake, this game, would you agree with this statement? Certainly in any loss, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be stuff that you want back. You wish you had done differently. But I got to say, I thought the quality of this game was actually pretty high. I thought both teams played sharp, and at the end of the day, maybe the most disappointing part is I don't know that I felt like LSU lost this game. I more felt like USC won it. For all the talk of we're going to run the ball and we're going to be physically dominant I think USC out-physicaled you. I mean, how many times did you see a ball carrier get popped backwards? Not just stopped, but like hit backwards. And then how many times did you see on the opposite side of the ball? You really didn't too much. Now again, I think it was sharply played on both sides. I think both fan bases, honestly, should be pretty ecstatic with the defensive coordinator upgrades. But that was maybe the most shocking part to me was here was a USC team that I thought you would be physically dominant over, and yet they were over you.
Yeah, so in the run game, and again, going back, and hopefully that tape will be uploaded so we can watch it on the way back and certainly have some of that breakdown for tomorrow. They were adding an extra defender on all of LSU's runs because they had, in their mind, no threat of Garrett Nusmeier pulling the football and him having a quarterback run. And
the backside defender.
The backside defender didn't even look at Garrett Nusmeier, and that's something a year ago that obviously you just didn't have. You didn't have that last year because you were terrified that Jaden Daniels was going to run the football. When LSU went empty, which was one of their favorite formations, USC was basically playing like 2 3s and 2 9s, it felt like, out there with no linebacker in the middle. Again, just saying you're not running quarterback draw. Okay, we're going to put everybody into coverage, and so that those things were different. And, yeah, at the point, USC was physical. There's no question about it. And LSU came in, and even in the third quarter, when you're like, okay, I understand wanting to establish the run, but now you're in the third quarter. It hasn't popped just yet. You did have one big hit from John Emery there. That series from John Emery was fantastic.
It was a great series. It felt like that was like, oh, okay, you've
leaned on, because that's why you run counter and stuff like that. Because 4 yards, 5 yards, and then all of a sudden, man, you've leaned on them, you've worn on them so much. Here comes a 50-something yarder, but it never really popped. And again, if we go back and we watch that tape, like on the short yardage, which you hurry up, you're in gun. We'll certainly cover that play, in more depth. But the edge defender did not worry about anything but just crashing as hard as he possibly could.
Well, and it's crazy that then you would continue to leave him. I mean, whatever the play calls for him to be unblocked, but to continue to run it and not make him respect a pull or give him anything else to distract was disappointing. And then I keep going back to that 3rd and 1, right? Because this is a weird game because you look at the box scores and it would appear that, there's a lot of yardage put up, but not a lot of scoring, right? I think the defense, I thought LSU's defense actually played pretty well despite the fact that Miller Moss ends up with 378 through the air, right? I thought it was improved in a lot of ways. So I'm a box score in the same way. It's like LSU outrushed USC, sure, right?
Yeah.
But what happened when you had to have it? What happened when game was on the line, 3rd and 1, and you needed the first down? You couldn't get it, and maybe that's the most disappointing part because the O-line is supposed to be your strength. The more traditional running attack versus Jaden Daniels was supposed to be able to carry the load, and in the end, that conversation we were having about the defense should be better, but we know the offense will be a little worse. Like, which change would outweigh the other? And unfortunately, the lack of threat from the offense at the end of the day ended up costing you this game. You just couldn't put it away.
So on that 3rd and 1, I believe it was Pimpton that got beat right across his face.
Right after he had a 14-yard catch.
Yeah, right after he had a big catch. Again, probably not expecting that kind of a hard crash, but that was really something they should have because USC continued to do it all night long. And gosh, and I know why you try to hurry up in a 3rd and 1 situation. You're trying to get on the ball and trying to catch them. But, I mean, literally every defender for USC was in the box at that point. It was such a big moment in the game. And if you are the team that we thought you were physically, you don't worry about having to rush up to the line so fast. You can still line up and run your play I mean, look, everybody runs short yardage out of gun, which I hate. But, I mean, you had some success out of pistol. It's just the whole process of that play, how quickly you try to get it done, the play itself, the blocking scheme itself. That's just one of those points I'm talking about, those 5 or 6 points in the game that when you go back and watch, you're going to feel like that was a game-changing moment that cost you the game.
It's a game that, again, a great game in many ways by both teams. Well played, punches landed back and forth. Like, LSU comes out early. They drive all the way down the field. They're looking so sharp, but then they get stopped in the goal line. A major punch landed from USC. USC then goes, they score 7-0. You're like, ooh, man, LSU's got to respond. What do? They go down. Incredible touchdown throw and catch to Kyron Lacey, 7-7. Game on. It's just, it's crazy to me, Jake, and I got to watch the film to figure out exactly how this happened, but it is crazy to me how you lost. You seemed like you were in such a rhythm at the beginning of that game offensively when it came to moving the ball and just getting first downs, even if you weren't scoring necessarily. And something changed where at the end of the game when you needed those same first downs to salt that thing away, you didn't have it. You could not find the big offensive play that you needed in order to and Brian Kelly talked about this. We'll play the press conference next. Brian Kelly had about as honest and kind of emotional of a press conference I've ever heard. We're gonna play the whole thing in full and then react to it, but they lacked that killer instinct. They couldn't step on their throat.
Yeah, we'll get to the breakdown of the plays, but I think it's important to kind of break down the totality of all the things surrounding some of the plays as well. Like I think it was the last third down where you got the illegal procedure. You have the play clock running. You have 3 timeouts, all of them.
Yep.
You have the play clock running down. You knew that it wasn't right. Nusmeier tries to stop Lacey from going in motion. He stops and he keeps going. Nuss realizes there's 2 seconds left on the play clock. He turns around. He almost held his hands to call timeout. Then he's like, "No, let me snap it." And you snap it. That's the biggest play in the game. It's the play that's probably going to win or lose you the game, right? And you got a play clock winding down. You have all 3 of your timeouts. You've done a nice job. USC blew their timeouts. You've got all 3 of yours. Like, that's a little moment. Like, hey, you wanted to call timeout, take a breath, get a better ball play ready to go because you got 2 guys in motion. It's not on the same page right now. Again, another moment in this game that just everything surrounding the play, and then the play itself obviously was not your best ball play. So
yeah, I mean, Mark says right here, 10 penalties, 99 yards. I think USC had about 5 or 6, about half that. That's one of the ingredients in the pot of how you lose a big game like this. Let's do this. Let's go to break. When we get back, Brian Kelly in his press conference about 11 minutes long. I think it's very worth playing. I think you have a coach here that, again, I've never quite heard a press conference like it in terms of just the disappointment and the kind of raw honesty that you hear out of Kelly, and that's not that's not to pat him on the back or anything because whatever. But I do think the explanation of the game is interesting and pretty spot on. All right, so we'll be back with more Off the Bench next.
Off the bench.
Go to the Queen, guys. The Queen is your home for football season. The Queen's been recently renovated. If you haven't been, it is incredible, beautiful, top to bottom, remade. And we'll actually be out there Thursday for the start of the NFL season to celebrate. If you were to come hang out with us, it is the best place to watch football. The DraftKings Sportsbook is incredible. You can gamble right there. You can go to 1770, go get drinks, go get food. They got Shaq's Big Chicken. The Queen is the place to be this football season.
Yeah, like T-Bob said, we'll be out there on Thursday, completely renovated. It is not something that you'll recognize from the old Queen. Everything is right there on the floor. Multiple restaurants. You got the sports book there that we'll be chilling and watching a lot of NFL games this year. Come join us. You can check it out online, thequeenbr.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 988.
Yeah. And you say Shy City, Shy City, Shy City. I'm coming home again.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Welcome back to OTB. We are here live in Las Vegas, and LSU has lost another season opener for now the 5th year in a row. I looked up the average life expectancy. It's now at 77 and a half years, which means if you live that, you will have had 6.5% of your life that you watched LSU lose its opener. I have a 4-year-old daughter and 2-year-old son that don't know anything but LSU losing. Actually, in fact, I guess there's entire kindergarten classes out there throughout the state that have never seen LSU win an opener of a game. I kept making a joke all weekend about how, nobody gets me 5 times. I'll give you 4, but at the 5th time, we draw the line.
Step too far.
And the joke is obviously that's ridiculous. Football is a coin flip affair. It's a 50-50 thing. It's binary. It's 0 and 1s. Do you win or do you lose? to be on the wrong end of that game 5 years in a row is mathematically mind-boggling. And yet, here you sit. Brian Kelly knows it. This press conference that we're about to play here is very interesting. There's going to be a ton to react to into it, but it is interesting enough, I believe, to play in full if you have not heard it. So here is Brian Kelly after the 5th opening season loss in a row.
Yeah, I think it's the first time since I've been here that I'm pretty angry at our football team. And, first of all, from a big picture, we didn't play complimentary football. When we did some good things on the offensive side of the ball, we didn't complement, that defensively, and vice versa. But the thing that is most concerning for me are the personal fouls, the penalties that are selfish. Both of them led to scores, and they're undisciplined penalties, and effectively they fall back on me. And we take pride in running a disciplined program, but we have clearly not done a good enough job there because it impacted the game. The other thing is, unfortunately, it's clear that when we get up in a game, we do not know how to handle ourselves. You got to have a killer instinct in this game. You got to put teams away. We had an opportunity to put this team away, and we get complacent. We make more mistakes when we're ahead instead of having a better focus and a steely-eyed killer instinct, and that's disappointing. And so I'm angry at those things that I have to do a better job in shaping that in this group, because we had guys that played hard tonight. I mean, we had guys that wanted to win and were prepared to win. But those two things just, eat at me, and, they got to get fixed. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Brian, did the offense, particularly in the second half, like you said, not being able to maybe take advantage of opportunities to put EC away, what exactly would you look at went wrong in those moments?
There's a host of situations. We had a couple of false start penalties. We started behind the chains a couple of times. It wasn't probably our best execution. We don't have a cutoff on the backside on one. We don't, we don't run the route correctly. I mean, there was a number of different things, and they were based solely on the inability to execute at a high level when our best was needed offensively. We were not able to deliver. Now, we battled, and look, here's what I'm going to tell you. You get inside the 15-yard line 3 times and you come away with 6 points, that's going to come back and beat you. And so we can talk about missed blocks and not executing and not doing this and not doing that. We left a lot of points out there. We went up and down the field, but if you don't score points when you're down inside the red zone, like we did not do tonight, you're going to lose a one-possession game like we did tonight. And we put way too much pressure on our defense to be something that they're not ready to be. They battled, but we have warts, and they're not going away overnight. They got better. But our offense needed to be better because we needed to score in those situations, and that's just the way it needed to be. And coming up with 6 points with 3 possessions inside the 15 is just not good enough.
Brian, what did you see in that defense? You talked about them being better. Obviously, a nice challenge with their receivers and tight ends.
I think our defensive tackle play was much better. I think our edge play was better. I think we tackled pretty good. We competed on the edge. I think we were competitive. I just think overall it's connected better. We've got to get better in some areas, but, it's a cohesive, connected group that plays hard. They played really, really hard. And they didn't execute at the end as well as we would have liked, but that's probably it.
Hey, Brian, right here. You guys really kind of struggled to get the run game going at times in this game. Just maybe talk about some of the inconsistencies that maybe you saw here. Just how you
Look, we could sit here and we could go and, look at a million different things. But, we had over 400 yards in total offense. We weren't able to put the ball in the end zone when we really needed to. And so this is much more about being a much better and efficient offense in the red zone than it is the failings of the inability to run. We ran the ball well enough to set up everything else that we needed to do. Do I want to run the ball better? Absolutely. There's no doubt. I think our execution needs to get better. But having said that, we ran the ball well enough to win this game. But you can't win it if you don't score touchdowns in the areas that we won or come away with nothing from the 3-yard line.
Brian, I know it's game one, but were you surprised that we're taken aback by just the number of penalties and kind of the nature of some of them tonight?
Well, I've already commented on the 2 personal foul penalties. They impacted the game. And they're from veterans and from guys that know better and are leaders. And I have to look at myself and say, I have to do better because they're not getting the message. So, we had the 2 penalties there. Clearly that impact, those 2 penalties impacted the game. We had a couple of false start penalties. We had a PI that, I thought one was clearly a PI. The other one was, could have gone either way. 10 is too many. Let's put it that way. 10 is too many, but 2 personal foul penalties that set up scores is unacceptable.
Josh?
Coach, is it disappointing we have Savion Jones kind of really rose up, Aaron Anderson, John Emery, that kind of puts you in position? Is it disappointing when those guys perform and you don't get a victory?
Hell yes. Hell yes. And that's what I said to the team. I said, we had some guys played their butts off tonight, and we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. About not finishing when you have an opponent in a position to put them away. But what we're doing on the sideline is feeling like the game's over. And I'm so angry about it that I got to do something about it. I'm not doing a good enough job as a coach. And I got to coach him better because it's unacceptable for us not to have found a way to win this football game. It's ridiculous. And it's crazy.
Nusmeier, how would you assess his performance tonight overall?
I think Garrett did some really good things. I think there's probably a couple that he would like back. I think there's like any first game really, against a good opponent. I think he did enough for us to win the football game. But when we needed a couple of plays, I think there's a couple of things he'd like to do better, but he's going to be really good for us, and he'll get better from today.
Brian mentioned how he take pressure off the defense. He was saying is not quite ready yet. how you navigate that over the course of a season. Like how much do you need the offense to basically execute, I don't know, close to perfection every week to get win games?
No, I mean, I wouldn't call USC's offense, pedestrian. They've got some good athletes. I thought the quarterback played well tonight. He outplayed our quarterback. He made the plays when he needed to. I thought our defense took a step forward from last year. But we have to, when I say complimentary football, I mean, we have to help them as well. Like, we can't be 3 and out and then put them back on the field. We have to be able to help our defense in certain situations. It just felt like we never helped each other tonight. And that's what I was referring to in terms of, playing. I felt like as a team, this is a better team that we have. We're missing some of the, explosive weapons, but that doesn't mean you can't be a better football team. For us to be the kind of football team I want, we have to eliminate the foolish mistakes. We have to be able to have a mindset that when we have an opponent down, we have to be able to go for the have that killer instinct. And then finally, we have to be able to play off of each other much better. And that will help our defense the most. Thank you.
So there was Brian Kelly at the game last night. A ton to react to. We'll break it down next here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Go to oakparkevents.com, guys. Oakparkevents.com is your place. If you need a wedding venue, maybe you need somewhere for a little corporate retreat, some networking luncheons. Like, the bottom line, fellas, if you just got engaged, here's a little hot tip. You prove to the wife how thoughtful you are, how sincere you are, how excited you are, how involved you are, by telling her that, hey, baby, look, I lined up a couple of tours for us to go check out Park 73, for us to go check out Oak Lodge. Oak Lodge, of course, full of New Orleans charm, the beautiful brass mahogany bars, 3 different venue spaces to go check out. Park 73, a little more outdoors, perfect for reception, social occasion, corporate meeting or party. And guys, they have done thousands of weddings, okay? And you can customize it however you want. So the planning, the coordination, smooth and easy when you work with Oak Park. Go to oakparkevents.com. That's oakpark, events.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana.
Welcome back to Off the Bench and T-Bone.
Welcome back here, guys, Off the Bench, live from Las Vegas, talking about yesterday's game. So you heard Brian Kelly there, that last segment, and I thought that was pretty interesting, Jake, because as I said, that was a very open and emotional and honest press conference. From a man who is normally open, but in a in a way that is kind of calculated, right? He will tell you honestly what is going on, but it's normally done with kind of an air of confidence ultimately behind it. That felt like a man at that press conference last night who has put everything into developing this process, right? And that ultimately his process will produce the results that he's wanted. And that last night, to me, that sounded like a man who was having to look in the mirror and answer some very tough questions about, is my process flawed? What is going so wrong in how we're preparing these guys to end up here again for the third year in a row? He joins Curly Hallman as the only LSU football coaches since 1955 to lose their first 3 season openers in their tenure.
That is quite the stat. I hadn't seen that one just yet. That does seem like somebody that's like, okay, I have been a lot of different places, and every time that we have, installed our process in these places, it has shown different results.
Yeah.
And you can go everywhere that he's been. If I'm not mistaken, year number 3, Notre Dame, I think they went to a national championship game. So right now, year number 3, expectations are up, and it was more of the same. And I think that's the frustrating thing. And look, it's on everybody. Like, it's not just on players. It's on, like, everybody, because that process that they have implemented, obviously it's something that's talked about every single day. And there's things that have been done every single day to kind of change from what it was to what they want it to be. And that did sound like a lot of frustration of it not fully taking. Like, almost like 85% of it's taking, but it's not 100%, and we need it at 100%.
He sounded a little shook to me.
That's first time I've kind of heard him sound. I mean, he's always been honest. You said that earlier. He's always been honest and open. That's the first time that it almost felt like annoyed.
Yeah, no, like he was kind of out of his normal calm, confident demeanor, and you had a little bit of more of you had the kind of mask drop off in some ways. 3 trips into the red zone with 6 points. Do you believe, like, is he correct in identifying that as the key to the kind of key to the game?
Sure. I mean, yeah, it's one. I mean, you get the opening drive. you get down to the 3, you give your team the ability to go for it on 4th down. You don't get it there, and that play never had a chance. And you get down there at the end of the game, and again, we've already kind of talked about it, the 3rd down where Nusmeier wants to call a timeout. He realizes the play is not working like it should in the pre-snap process, doesn't call a timeout, and then the play played out like it did. Like it without the penalty, it still never had a chance. Like, those are things that are frustrating. But also, like, a lot of people are saying, run the ball on 2nd down, drain some of that clock, or at least, like, make USC use their 1 timeout, and you put the ball in the air. It was a high percentage pass. And it was the same kind of concept that they scored with Aaron Anderson. And let's just call it like it is. Of the entire game, there was probably, 3 passes that were not great passes from Garrett Nusmeier, and that was the one.
It's one that he just buried out in the flats.
You buried as low as away, and never had a chance. And if Aaron Anderson catches that, it becomes real interesting to see if he gets into the end zone, and you take another lead. And that's a moment. That's a moment in that game, as well as Nusmeier played, because I think he played really well. Now, they didn't ask him to push the ball down the field, which was surprising considering we have seen him only really push the ball down the field when he's come in. But it was that pass, the concept, and it's a high percentage play. You're thinking, okay, we're going to complete it. How far can we get it? And it's an extension of the run game.
Yeah.
And then you had the worst time to have Garrett Nusmeier throw his worst pass of the game.
Well, and so then do you agree with what Coach Kelly says when he says – the other quarterback, outplayed ours, and some will get mad about the coach kind of being that, putting that on a player, and I think those are kind of separate conversations. Like, if you want to have the conversation about should a coach ever do that, or should they just go back to coach speak? It's on me. That's all well and good, but let's examine the veracity of the statement. And unfortunately, even though Nuss came out so hot, it looks so good, I think it is objectively true that Miller Moss outplayed him. When USC had to have the big play, Miller Moss and his receivers consistently came up with it. I mean, the consistency with which these USC players were making these huge catches was something that LSU could not replicate. And the same thing with the huge throws. Miller Moss looked so comfortable in the biggest moments, even to the point where, the awareness at the end of the game, guy jumps offside, and Noah got a free play, immediately gets just a one-on-one, and then just throw a dime over the top for the touchdown. And yet, as Jake just pointed out, when you had the opportunity to, when you're winning and you gotta have the first down, on an easy, short yardage, a flat route pass, you spiked it into the ground. So I would say I kind of feel for Nuss, because there was a lot of good, but ultimately there was some critically bad that ended up being the difference.
Yeah, look, I want to make sure that I get it out there. Garrett Nusmeier played well. He played well, and he played good enough to win this game, certainly. But if we're looking at the battle between the two quarterbacks, because both played at a really high level, what T-Bob just said is right. Like, Miller Moss had moments in that game where he could have made an excuse of why it didn't work out. And his receivers went up and made plays. You have to credit them. But there's one play in the fourth quarter, T, where LSU dials up the perfect blitz, and Whitweeks gets home, and he's coming like a bat out of hell. And he's basically got almost like his arm wrapped around Miller Moss's right arm, and Miller Moss still finds a way to push the ball through for a first down.
Yeah.
It's those kind of plays that Miller Moss was making in the game. And, I mean, look, he had pressure on him. I thought LSU, actually got after him a little bit, and he didn't allow it. Like, Garrett Nusmeier had a clean pocket.
Yep.
All game long. Miller Moss kind of had some chaos around him.
A lot of chaos. He got hit a lot.
And was able to handle it. And, look, there's also something we haven't brought up yet. There's four plays that USC potentially could have had a turnover, and none of them led to turnovers. You had two batted balls that were in the air. LSU players had their hands on them. You had 2 fumbles that hit the ground, again, because you had great pressure on both those plays.
Yeah.
One of them, Perkins, is so fast, they're trying to, like, throw a little throwback to Woody Marks. He doesn't have time. That ball's on close to being right there on the ground. You had one where they're trying to run a little reverse, probably going to turn into a flea flicker, and you blow it up so fast the ball's on the ground again. It goes their way. So there's 4 chances with the ball basically in the air on the ground, and they got all 4 of them.
Well, that's the most disappointing part is that the defense. The defense played well enough to win, man. The defense did. And that's something I want to explore coming up next here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. You need a brand new vehicle. Maybe you want to buy a Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get excellent warranty coverage. Maybe you just want to rent. You're going on vacation or something where they got cheaper per day rental prices than your traditional rental company. Just go holla at our girl, Miss Lisa Sessions. But you go to allstar.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today. You can see some of the great deals that they have going on. Remember, the service center and the body shop open to all makes and models. Doesn't have to be Toyota, doesn't have to be All-Star. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com today.
You go to the website, check out what you can buy new, what you can lease, and what you can rent. Everything is available in all 3 of those processes. We tell you that every single day. So if you're looking for something bigger, Sequoia, Sienna, midsize SUV, Highlander, 4Runner, they got multiple sedans. They got Tacomas, Tundras if you're needing a truck. They have got hybrids. They literally have everything available. And again, in all 3 processes, not going to really find that anywhere else. So call Miss Lisa Sessions in that rental department today to reserve your rental. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Hester and T-Bob.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB here. Okay, Jake. Do you agree with the statement that this loss was more on the offense than the defense? Because the whole question coming in was, which of these defenses, with their complete makeovers and their coaching upgrades going, getting Dantzler and Blake Baker, which defense would play better? I thought that both coordinators and defenses actually acquitted themselves well over the main course of the game. And I really agree with Brian Kelly's statement that you asked the defense to be something that they're just not quite ready for. Because I did feel that, the thing that we talked about being the biggest weakness for LSU, the secondary versus those weapons, you felt that. You felt that. In one-on-one situations, you kind of struggled to keep up with them, right? And I thought LSU actually did a pretty good job of kind of managing that disparity and still finding enough success. And ultimately, the defense came up with the fourth down stop. You're winning the game. There's 8 minutes left, and USC was feeling the pressure to the point where they had to go for it on fourth down, and you came up with a stop, and that's where the complementary football comes in. The offense could not get it done.
All right, so looking at like the tail of the stats, right? If I would have told you that USC is not going to have a single sack and only 3 tackles for loss, and LSU is going to have 2 sacks and 7 tackles for loss, and also, passes defended, LSU had 7, USC had 1. You would have said, oh, what? LSU's defense did what? And this is not on the defense.
No.
The defense was put in really bad situations in the second half. The defense fought their ass off. The first half, you go into the locker room and you only give up 10 points. And, again, they fought like hell. Now, there was a couple plays, sure, like Gilbert got stuck in the mud there on a play. And they look, that was – once that play happened, that was a target. They were trying to get one of their fast, quick receivers on Gilbert kind of in the middle of the football field, and they kept kind of coming back to that. Even that, though, LSU did adjust to it. The middle of the field, and I said on the broadcast last night, like that was where USC felt the most comfortable. They felt the most comfortable right there. There was – look, and they would take a 7-yard throw. They'd take an 11-yard throw. Then they'd hit a 22-yard throw. If you were going to give it to them, they did a really nice job of just taking those little small chunks and kind of just giving you 1,000 paper cuts over and over again. Then they take their shot. So it was a really nice job by USC in the fourth quarter, really, of kind of changing up what they were doing. But I am not going to come here and besmirch the LSU defense. Was it perfect? No, not by any means. But from where you were to what it was against one of the best play callers in America that's got a pretty talented receiver room, quarterback. The defense did enough to win. They made enough game-changing plays. And, again, I mentioned it earlier. There was 4 chances that the ball was in the air on the ground. If LSU comes up with one of those, they probably win this football game. But I thought the defense was around the quarterback most of the night. You can certainly see that the LSU defensive back room is still a step away.
Oh, yeah,
and you've got to protect that group.
It's more than a step, bruh. Like it was, it might be, it's 2 steps is the problem. The problem with that, Jake, is you're going to have a lot of good weapons that you're going to have to do battle with this year. Like it ain't going to get any easier. USC's got a nice group. They got a good quarterback, but how are you going to defend Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, and Jackson Dart and those receivers who looked incredible? I mean, hell, even Jackson Arnold looked good, right? Like you talk about what you're going to face in the SEC, and maybe that's one of the most disappointing part is, make no mistake, a 9-3 record is the ceiling now. You're not going to go 7-1 in the SEC. You're just not. 6-2 would have been the best that you could basically hope for. So functionally, this was an elimination game. and you have been eliminated from the playoff.
It's like we talked about with Texas A&M and Notre Dame, right? Kind of same situation. Like if Notre Dame would have lost that game, and that for them, it's almost felt like an elimination game. And I mean, to your point, 9-3 being the ceiling certainly feels right, and then you have to hope that you have a lot of chaos around you for you to even be in the conversation.
You ain't making the playoff at 9-3. You ain't making the playoff at 9-3, and I say 9-3 is a ceiling, Jake.
Right.
But unfortunately, with what you saw yesterday, 8-4 actually feels like probably the most mathematically realistic.
It's not even really with what I saw yesterday, because there was enough in there again to go win the game. You didn't go win it.
Exactly, right? But exactly. But you had to, because the math is math. All right, hour 2 of OTB coming up next.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Go to Trash Rangers, trashrangers.com, trashrangers.com. You go to trashrangers.com today, guys, and they take care of all of your waste management needs. If it's residential, they are the absolute best. If you live as an intersection, they got your back. They actually send you text the night beforehand to remind you about your trash coming out. But if you're a business owner, you need front-load dumpsters, you need roll-off dumpsters, they got you. Go to trashrangers.com today. Let them handle all your waste management needs.
Yeah. Once you get that website, you're going to see all that they can offer for you, including those roll-off dumpsters, 3 different sizes, and that's in the greater Baton Rouge area. And if you've got a project at your home or your business, it doesn't really matter what size project, they are going to get the right dumpster to your location to make sure that all your needs are met. Go to the website today. Brand new website, trashrangers.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Monday, September 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 95. In hour 2 of today's show, Jake and T-Bob will continue to break down LSU's season opening loss to the USC Trojans in Las Vegas. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert. T-Bob Hebert.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. I guess I kind of want to talk about this game for a little bit longer, Jake, but then I almost just want to get into all of college football and actually talk about some of the more interesting things that that happened over the weekend, because I gotta be honest, guys. This just sucks. I'm exhausted. We've been here for 4 days. It's 6 a.m. here. There's not a soul around. Shout out to Bo Wegman being up, getting all this crap set up, getting us everything we need to try to get the show done. But, like, this is as miserable of a setting, I think, that I've ever done a radio show from in our professional career. In terms of, and even if it was a win, would it be better? Sure, but not like that much better. Right? It's all just exacerbated by the fact that, once again, for the 5th year in a row, you lose to a major, you lose a major opener. Okay, let's do this. Maybe in an effort to get a bit of positive vibes going, Jake, what do you think were the most positive parts about last night's game?
I'm going to go with maybe a couple of individual players if we're picking out the offense. Unfortunately, you didn't find him in the second half, but Kyron Lacey, the way he started the game, felt like a true receiver one, and not only for LSU, but maybe like an all-conference type player. And going from receiver 3 to receiver 1, like that can't just be assumed. That has to go be earned, and it looked like in the first half he certainly did earn that, and you're just going to go back and watch the tape and see what happened.
What happened to him and Mason Taylor in the second half, dude?
Yeah. And Mason Taylor was a bright spot. No question about it. So there was a point in the third quarter, and I know we're supposed to be talking positives here. There was a point in the third quarter where I even think we said it on the broadcast, like you were still trying to establish the run in the third quarter. And I know you'd be like, well, yeah, you were trying to lean on them a little bit. But there was a couple of drives where it felt like you forced the issue. You didn't maybe come with the totality of your playbook, and you're like, we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. It's like you can have that mindset, but also like if the game doesn't dictate that's what you do, then you change it up a little bit. And it felt like there was 2 series. I'll have to go back and look on the timestamp of when those were in the third quarter. But like you had a plan to do that, and then you didn't change that plan once it wasn't going well.
I would say for me, the positives, again, I actually did really liked the defense in a lot of ways. I liked the consistent pressure on the quarterback. I liked, like you said, the TFL numbers, forcing a couple of fumbles. I thought the D-line, I thought it was a defense that ultimately is still very flawed from a personnel standpoint, but unlike last year, you kind of raised the level of your personnel instead of kind of dragging it down. I think that maybe the most disappointing part of the game for me, Jake, was in some ways the LSU offensive line. They were great on pass pro, elite on pass pro for the vast majority of the night. Garrett had very clean pockets to work with most of the time, but it never felt, and maybe this is a bit of a function, like we're talking about, where you want to run like zone read, but there's no actual threat to pull, so the guy that you're reading doesn't actually have a read. He's just going to crash every time until you make him respect it, and nobody's blocking him. So is that actually on the O-line? But there were still a lot of other times where, you were in a lot of counter, and it hit the one time with Emory,
Yeah.
but it never really felt like you exerted your will. For all the talk of, we're going to run the ball. And look, I love trash talk, right? Because you have to be confident enough in yourself to get out there. But for all the trash talk of we're going to run the ball and tell them we're going to run the ball, like I kind of feel like Campbell and the O-line ends up with a little bit of egg on their face. And it's one of those deals where, again, you look at the stats and you say, oh, they ran it pretty well. But again, when it mattered most, when you had to have it on a lot of these short yard situations, they couldn't get it. So the overall stats don't matter because contextually, like real running dominance is getting those 3rd and 2s, those 3rd and 3s, those 3rd and 1s, those 4, and LSU just did not get them all night long. And so, yeah, I mean, you could tell me best O-line in America, and I'm going to tell you no. Not last night. The best
pass protection,
pass
yes.
protection is incredible.
The run game, no.
No, you cannot be the best O-line in America and not get as many 3rd and shorts as LSU tried to yesterday.
They're going to go back again, and when you watch the tape, there's going to be 7 times when you feel like if Garrett Nusmeier would have pulled the football, because you had to keep USC honest, because once they realized, okay, this isn't a threat, we're not even going to pause a little bit. And I thought actually on the other side, Braden Swinston did a really nice job of playing both all night. There was a couple times Miller Moss wanted to pull it. You could see it, and then he'd give it off because Braden Swinston was playing both. But for you, that edge defender had his hair on fire after about the 3rd time that you did it. And there was just no plan to kind of counter yourself off of that. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things that
shocking
you
to
noticed.
me. I mean, but it's so obvious. So how do you not notice? And so I thought Sloan called a pretty good game overall. But how do you not make an adjustment for that? How do you not force Garrett to just pull it, make him respect it, work something off of it? Because how do you go through all of camp? Like, when you're going through camp and running these plays, LSU's not crashing in the same way? Was he pulling it in camp? Did they think that he would? Like, I just, it's a little inexplicable in that it feels so obvious. It's a little inexplicable that you wouldn't have an answer for it.
Yeah, because is Garrett Nusmeier ever going to be confused for Jaden Daniels? No, he's not. But Garrett Nusmeier, I mean, go back and look at like 2007. Like, him and Flynn are very comparable, I think, when it comes to like athletic ability as far as running the football. Yeah. Matt had a lot of rushing yards in 2007. I mean, so it's not like he's not able to do it. It's not like you have just a completely unathletic quarterback that's got brick feet, that's good in the pocket, but he's not going to. No, I mean, he's athletic enough to be able to do it too.
Also, I think a bit of a disappointing night. BK talked about the personal foul penalties and coming from their veterans, the players that they should rely on. Will Campbell's false starts were killer.
Yeah.
It can't happen. It can't happen. I know it was loud. I guess it was. I don't know. I heard that crowd was like 70-30, but, the USC fans definitely came alive late. But when you had to have it, you can't. You just can't have those penalties, man. They're drive killers. And Petrus Tiger says it just looks like they don't trust Nuss. Would you agree with that?
No, I mean, I just don't know how you couldn't trust him. Now, I guess you would be asking the question because there wasn't a lot of pushing the ball down the field. What he complete? almost 30 passes, and it was only, 8 yards per attempt to Miller Moss had 10.5.
It's interesting to me that they could feel like they were stacking the box, and yet you weren't able to take advantage on the outside in some ways.
Yeah, because you had a couple of play-action passes that were off of counter, which is a long developing play. And a lot of times if you do that, it's you're throwing something, a side adjust kind of type route really quick. You get the ball out of your hands. Sometimes you'll take a shot out of it, but you got to have a really good offensive line. But even when they were doing that, they had time. Like, they had time to go through that process, and Nusmeier was able to hit his back foot and really scan the field, and still you didn't see – I would actually like to see maybe the metric of what was the farthest air travel last night.
It would have to be the Kyron Lacy touchdown.
Yeah.
Probably about 35 yards in the air, which was a beautiful throw and a amazing catch, which is why it's so disappointing that you weren't able to kind of push the limits and find something like that again.
I mean, didn't really even try, and there was a couple times at the bottom of the bottom of the field on USC sideline that you had one-on-one man coverage. Kyron Lacy and the safety was kind of in the middle of the field. Now he's shaded more towards that, but it was one-on-one from the 20-yard line, your guy, man coverage, press coverage, and there wasn't even a look over that direction.
Yeah, it's again, Kyron Lacy had such a hot start. Mason Taylor had such a hot start.
I mean, 4 catches on the first drive.
Yeah, how did USC adjust and just make them complete non-factors? I don't think that LSU. It didn't feel like they handled like. I guess I'm just thinking of 2 plays, Jake. But like when USC would go cover 0 and just bring everybody. Nuss just kind of falling back, throwing it up in the air, not on the same page with the receivers. Like, was the receiver supposed to know that it's hot? That the adjustment is for him to run a go, but instead he's like running a hitch. It just it didn't seem like they handled that well as well. Do you remember the plays I'm talking about?
Yeah,
it's like 2 in my head that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, they were crucial plays too. They were certainly money downs, and I'm trying to think what the situation was.
I mean, even the 4th down.
Yeah.
On the goal line early on, you let a free rusher through the A gap. I got to go to the film to see if was it on Chester or was it on the back? See what their pass blocking rules are. It looked like it was probably on Chester to me, but again, we'll see when we go back. But like again, another critical moment, and D'Anton Lynn dials up the pressure, and LSU did not handle it well.
I was surprised, and USC didn't really adjust to LSU playing empty. Like a lot of times when you start playing that much empty, and LSU was in it a lot, you'll see a defensive coordinator kind of get aggressive, and he's going to have something for you. I mean, they were rushing 4, they were dropping 7. They never really adjusted to it, but it never was the big hit that you were expecting out of empty. Like they played it kind of just straight up, like, hey, 4 rushers. One time they put 5 guys on the line of scrimmage and they brought 5, but even that, like, you should be able to handle that easy out of empty. It's one-on-one matchups. I'll have to go back, and again, the film's not loaded yet, but I don't remember them bringing 6 on any of your empty sets, and so that's one-on-one matchups where you got to be able to go make a play.
Cuban Regnet says, take the field goal that first drive. I actually don't have a problem with going for it on 4th down. I think you got there. I think the payoff of a touchdown in that situation actually does outweigh a field goal. And even then, I think the scales of the game got kind of balanced when USC misses a field goal that they should have made right before the half ends. So, would you have taken the point, Jake? What did you think there?
No, I was okay being aggressive. Move the ball right down the field, and you're on the 3-yard line. I had no problem with them deciding to go for it. It's just, again, like, you can't have the missed assignments in moments like that. And when we go back and we watch this, we are going to see probably 5 plays of crucial, game-changing type plays where USC made the play and you didn't. And it wasn't because of the physical nature of the play. It was really you had a mental breakdown so for me, like a bad throw and a player that's made great throws all night, like, yeah, you can call that physical because he physically threw it into the ground, but also just the mental of we complete this pass at second down, we're going to churn a lot of this clock, and then they either got to use their one timeout they have left or they got to save that. We get this thing down to 30 seconds.
Who said this? Tommy says, can we stop taking the ball first? That'd be great. I agree, dude. When I saw LSU was receiving, I automatically assumed that USC had won the toss and had deferred. So to once again see LSU win the toss and take the ball first, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. The potential to get the back-to-back combination at the end of half, beginning of the second half, get an additional second half possession. How does this staff, how does Brian Kelly not see that just objectively that outweighs whatever statement you think you're going to make on your first opening drive? It just makes no sense.
Because, I mean, if USC makes their field goal, right, and then they get the ball in the second half, like, I don't even know what that game looks like. That was huge momentum for LSU. So exactly what you're talking about, score 3, get the ball back, and that it surprised me. I mean, in the booth, receive? You're gonna receive this opening kickoff?
And it's something that we've seen come back to bite LSU in this Brian Kelly era multiple times already, and yet here they're doing it again. I just assumed that, like at this point, that if you win the toss, you know you're going to defer. Corbin says, "Stop crying about taking the ball. That's not where LSU lost. They're trying to not start the game playing from behind." You have to be willing. First off, show belief in your defense. Your defense actually played quite well. I would have no problem trusting in them. You could have made a statement by trusting in them. But you can't get scared if you say they don't want to try to start the game playing from behind. Well, you did anyway. You drove down there. You came away with nothing. You still let them score first. You were down 7-0. You still ended up playing from behind. So that fear, if it's what you're trying to avoid, then you're still screwing yourself over in the end because it still happened anyway. So if the potential to still play from behind is there anyway, why would you not do? And of course it's not why LSU lost, Corlin. Of course it's not. We're talking about just elements of the game that you would have liked to see change. But if the potential to already play from behind, even if you get the ball first is there, why not just do what is strategically and mathematically better option and defer to the second half? I do not understand that at all.
I think also a portion of it is, even if you don't pull off the, hey, we get the last possession, first possession, getting the ball in the second half after you've made your adjustments, after you've kind of recalculated what the situations of the game are, is something that I'm a big fan of offensively.
Yep.
Like being able to, all right, here's what they're doing in this situation, that situation. Let's put a game plan together. Let's go put a drive together. Let's go get points. You have the ability to, after adjustments, be able to go out there and put your best foot forward.
I wonder if this is true. Christian says BK's won the toss and elected receive in every loss. I wonder if that's I can certainly remember a few of them off the top of my head, but, I've seen enough. No more receiving. All right, look, let's do this, guys. When we get back, get all of your takes, questions. We'll start getting the best ones out right now, but put all of your best takes, questions, thoughts on the game last night in the chat. We'll react to them, and then after that, I think we'll get into some of the national college football scene as well, as it was a great weekend if you're not an LSU fan. It was a great weekend in college football. All right, when we get back here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
You can go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Central Plumbing is your one-stop plumbing shop, man. They've been at it for 50 years. The bottom line is you're not going to hit them with a problem that they don't know how to solve. So take advantage of flat rate pricing, the excellent warranty coverage, the fact that everybody's licensed, bonded, insured, and you can trust who's coming into your home. So go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, when you go to the website, you'll see what T-Bob is talking about. It is not only emergency service, though, although 24/7, 365 is what they can do for you there. If you're looking to upgrade at your home or business, they can certainly come in and they can handle any job that you might have. We always talk about the tankless water heater. Never run out of hot water again. Getting home late from the ball field, you got to shower, you got to do dishes, you still got to do the laundry. Well, you don't have to worry if you have that tankless water heater. Go to the website today, centralplumbing.org.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has back-to-school savings like $16,000 off 25 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $16,000 off. All new Bayou vehicles come with a complimentary extended warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Hester and T-Bob.
So welcome back to OTB here. I asked you for your best takes, comments. Michael Pettigrew gives a $5 super chat. He says, going into year 3 of BK and what seems to be another 9-3 season, does anybody else feel like we were looking at Les Miles 2.0? Real quick on the 9-3 thing, seems to be. Jake, I mean, people can call me like defeatists or whatever. Again, I don't think seems to be 9-3 is the case. I think your ass better hope you hit 9-3. Because last night you saw a team that is improved defensively but the offensive step back could outweigh whatever defensive improvement you have made because you still have major personnel issues on defense. The secondary is one that is going to struggle to hang with a lot of these SEC offenses. And so I look at this schedule, and you're telling me, okay, first off, I don't think you're at beating Alabama. I never thought you were beating Alabama, ever, before this game. I've had that as a guaranteed loss the entire time. So I think you lose there, and then you're telling me you're going to beat everybody else? I mean, to go better than 9-3, you would literally have to you'd have to go 7-1 in the SEC. You're telling me, but even to go 6-2, you got Ole Miss, you got Oklahoma, you got Texas A&M in College Station. You have all of these games. You're telling me you're only going to lose one other of them? Like maybe. How I'm thinking today, 9-3 is the ceiling. 8-4 with the quality of team that I saw. 8-4 feels like potentially the more realistic option. And
what would that mean? Well, in your eyes, LSU after winning 10 games the first 2 seasons, if you go back to 8-4,
I would just have to stop giving Brian Kelly credit for being one of the best coaches in the country. And it's a weird thing because, like, I feel like he is. He's very intelligent. How he talks about building a program, how he runs it is, these are things that outside looking in I'm very impressed with. And you feel like it's leading to some level of stability and they're recruiting very well and all these sorts of things. So it's not like, it's not like blow it up. But, I mean, definitely if you're judging who are the best coaches in college football right now, they're just objectively, you would just have to call a spade and say he's just not in that elite group anymore.
Yeah, 8-4 would be highly disappointing because you take over a job in a roster after that Texas Bowl a couple years ago that, I mean, the fact that you got that team to an SEC championship game was remarkable, and then you try to build off that. Last year, we all know what you didn't have on defense, but you had a Heisman Trophy winner, you had first-round receivers, and so you feel like you're building everything going in the right direction. And if you were 9-3 this year, it wouldn't feel great. It's that still didn't feel great. And you're saying potentially, and I get where you're coming from. That's the ceiling. If you take a step back at 8-4, that's a tough pill to swallow because of what you've done in the first couple. Now, if you have started 8-4, 9-3, different conversation. But you've won 10 games the last 2 years, and so you're number 3 where everybody's going to be graded harder. Everybody around the program, if you take a step back to 8-4, yeah, that's a troublesome season for LSU standard.
All right, let's get some more of these comments. How do you fix the discipline with how soft and emotional the players are now? I mean, soft and emotional, and that's a bit of this younger generation sucks. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. In terms of discipline, yeah, you can't get those penalties, man. You can't have it. And I don't know exactly how you do it, but I mean, what do you do? Do you run him? Do you just tell him, look, I don't even think it's like that. I think it's one of those deals you're like, look, man, you cost us. You cost us, and if that's who you want to be, fine. If you want to do these, if you want to celebrate knowing you're getting a penalty, and it was an incredible play, but then even on the sideline, to show your boys and double down on the penalty, hey, this is how I got it. It's just if that's what you care about more. And you don't just naturally feel man, I wish I could have that back and not do that again. There's no amount of running or discipline or anything that's gonna fix that. You have to, if you're Kyron Lacey, you have to you have to know in your own heart already that you just can't do that.
Yeah, that and you heard BK say it. Hell, we've probably already said it. Getting penalties like that is always going to put you in just an awful situation, and they're tough to overcome. It's even more frustrating when it comes from players that if you combined their college experience, it'd be like 76 years of college football. Like, you can't celebrate like that and not expect it to get called. And then, like you said, show everybody what you did on the sideline. That's an awful look. And then for Major Burns, it's a play out of excitement. You take your helmet off, you celebrate. You can't take your helmet off. Like that rule's been in place for what, forever. A decade now, minimum, maybe even longer. I don't even know. Those are two veteran players that have played a lot of football at two different places, ULL and LSU for Lacey, and Georgia and LSU for Major Burns. Like, they have to know you can't do that. And those, like for Major Burns' penalty, like, just you're starting on, you go from the 40 to the 25, like the 40 field position. Even if you go 3 and out, you're going to punt them back and you're going to pin them in. And both led to scores from USC. Like, if it was a true freshman, you don't love it, you hate it, in fact, but you're like, oh man, it's a teaching moment. Look, you're a freshman, you can't do crap like that. When it's someone who's as veteran as those two players, that's the part that's just you can't deal with.
I agree. All right, we'll get to more of your comments. I got to find the exact one that I wanted to react to, but we'll get to more of them next here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Go to ColemanRoof.com. ColemanRoof.com. Guys, Coleman is Louisiana's most reliable, most respected, and most complete roofing company. No matter what you need, man. If you need, no matter what size project, right? Commercial, residential, anywhere in the state of Louisiana, any type of roof, Coleman has your back. Go to ColemanRoof.com. You can see some of the reviews from people right there on the website, why they're so incredibly satisfied with Coleman. And really, it's just because effort. They give a damn. And they do everything that they can to make sure the job is done correctly, all the way from the estimate to the cleanup. Go to ColemanRoof.com today.
Go to the website and check out all the things they can do for you, and also the areas they can do them in throughout the state of Louisiana, commercial and residential. And if you're looking for truly a one-stop shop, someone that can come in and give you both the roofing portion of it, but also the construction part, and if you've got damage to the interior of your home from your roof, they come in and they truly just fix it all. That is Coleman Roof, Coleman Roofing and Construction.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. All right, let's get into some of these comments. A lot of people, Brambo with a $2 super chat saying, how many days off of fall camp did Les give y'all? Brian, Jimbo, Fisher, Kelly gave them 2 days. I mean, look, I know the temptation is to talk about this team, being soft compared to the old school and how the old school used to do it. I honestly don't think that's the problem, right? I think LSU runs a camp that is no different from the other camps. This is just how the modern college football theory is now, about kind of prioritizing recovery and whatnot. I don't know that I feel like how LSU ran camp was the problem in this game. That said, I talked a lot in the run-up about this game, about LSU needing a killer instinct, a little meanness, and while you are a bit friskier in that way, you still, in the Kelly era, have not achieved, and really for a while now, you have not achieved that intimidation factor that LSU used to have as a team. Nobody's scared of you. USC was hitting you. I mean, again, the thing that I keep going back to is how many times did a USC defender hit an LSU ball carrier and knock him backwards hard? I can remember 4 or 5 off the top of my head. And now think about how many times you saw that the LSU do that to USC.
I don't remember.
I can't remember one. That's what I'm saying. They were consistently falling forward. LSU's fighting. Again, I think the personnel and defense is not the best. And so they were doing okay for their personnel. But they didn't lay the wood. So I don't think it's camp as to why this toughness is not there. Maybe I'm wrong, Jake. Maybe you disagree. But I do agree with kind of your overall sentiment that this team is still not it doesn't have the bully, the killer instinct, the intimidation factor that I wanted.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. There was at least 3 times that LSU's running backs got stoned and went backwards. And not a stalemate.
Which is hard to do, dude.
It's very hard to do.
Backwards hard too, like a pop, like a visceral, pow.
Yeah. I didn't, I didn't see that one time on the opposite side.
No.
Most of the tackles were kind of hanging on, and
Yes.
so look, I don't know where you change that. Obviously, coaches now don't tackle and don't go live. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be something. I can't imagine. Look, I'm just going to be honest. I can't imagine Lincoln Riley had a very physical camp compared to like others. Like he might have done about the same as others, but I can't imagine that he ramped it up and they just went super physical.
Yeah,
in camp.
exactly. No, right?
Like players just got to go play like dogs sometimes, and you got to go be physical. I mean, LSU did enough physicality things in fall camp. Like, could you do more? I don't know.
Coach thing?
Sure.
I mean, USC got beefed up. You saw all the graphics. Whatever strength coach change they made led to some pretty significant body changes in those players. I don't know. Never should have freaking got rid of Tommy Moffitt. I don't know, dude. It's probably not. I think it's probably just misdirected anger on my part. But I do know that Tommy Moffitt turned out NFL dogs for 20 years at a consistent basis, even when people, even when the schools started to, maybe like even when the play on the field wasn't there, the development of the talent out of the strength staff was still excellent. And well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just sour grapes kind of lashing out now at anything.
God bless you. Me, Bo. I saw Joey Chestnut in Starbucks just now.
What?
Yeah, Joey Chestnut, the hot dog eating champion, was just in Starbucks here inside the hotel. And how did I know it was Joey Chestnut? One, because I recognized him, but two, he had a Joey Chestnut jersey on.
Wait. It is 6:30 a.m. and Joey Chestnut's in the Mandalay Bay Starbucks in a Joey Chestnut jersey.
Yeah.
What is going on? Is this an eating day, or do you think he's just wearing that jersey casually?
I think he's got a hot dog eating contest. They're having a battle on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
I guess today. I don't know. But it's on Netflix. But he had like an all-star, like National League all-star jersey. It was 70, which I'm assuming that's his record for hot dogs. And, yeah, Joey Chestnut. I was going to ask him, hey, there's a guy in there that had a pizza eating contest against you one time in Baton Rouge that wants revenge.
He's probably going to be pissed because he actually lost that day.
That's true.
In BA and BR. Dane says, hell to you, I'm concerned about UCLA. I'm still not concerned about UCLA. I will say this, guys. We're an LSU-centric show. We're going to talk about it from an LSU perspective and make it sound like LSU blew this game, but USC won this game. This does not feel like a game where it was you shooting yourself in the foot or you making mistakes and giving the game to a team that was worse than you. USC felt like the objectively better football team, in my opinion. Somebody was asking earlier, Jake, about did you love the decision on the 3rd and short at the end of the game to hurry up, get to the line?
I don't like to hurry up. When you hurry up and you're trying to catch them off guard, you can also catch yourself off guard.
Yeah.
And you can try to be too fast, and you had a player get beat right across his face. And we all know what's going down. You're going to run the football, right? We all understand that. I don't think you're going to catch anybody, and this is not just LSU. This is the play in general. And, look, everybody runs 3rd and 1 out of gun now. I hate that too. Everybody does it. I can't think of a team outside of Iowa or a service academy that doesn't.
I mean, LSU was on the forefront of that, right? Back in 2019, that was their deal.
Yeah.
And it felt crazy at the time, but they made it work. But it was a collection of elites. If you don't have that, it doesn't work. Christian says BK said his team doesn't have the killer instinct, but attitude's a reflection of coaching. I've yet to see a game against a quality opponent where BK's had team beat the opponent into submission. I mean, there's been a couple, right? Mississippi State. It doesn't matter about going in the instances. I think I do think when you talk about your team not having a killer instinct and you talk about attitude, I do agree that is a reflection, though, of the process. And, again, that was the most interesting part about BK's press conference to me is we've seen these losing press conferences before, and they've always had an air of confidence behind them that, yes, things went badly, but this is short term. They went badly because we have some very clear problems we have to overcome. But ultimately, my process is proven it will be fine. And this was the moment. in which it was supposed to be fine. And yes, last night felt like a man who felt like he has to reevaluate his process and what he's doing to consistently, once again, be sitting here third year in a row talking about the same thing. Again, I saw a stat earlier today. I need to go look up who linked it to me on Twitter, but the only other LSU coach since 1955 to lose the first 3 season openers are Curly Hallman and Brian Kelly. And it's probably a bit unfair because you're playing Florida State, USC. But at the end of the day, a football game is a coin flip. I mean, it's a coin flip. You cannot keep losing these binary 50-50 affairs when, like, you should stumble into a win almost at one point.
It's incredibly hard to even fathom. You're right, and there's only been 2 of these that have been close. Like the Mississippi State ended up being 10. UCLA was more than a score, and honestly, you got a touchdown late from Butte, and that game's not close. Florida State, the first time, it was close, but Florida State had the momentum most of that game.
Yeah, bro, they had to fumble a toss on the 1 yard line for you to have a chance to win.
And then last year you got beat bad against Florida State. So that's the other portion of it. They haven't been really particularly close. Like, you've been fortunate to be close in the Florida State the first time. It's not even really been 50-50 though. I mean, you've been getting pushed around in basically all 5 of these.
All right, when we get back, we're going to continue to react to your comments. Get them in the chat here on youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Isn't today like a holiday or something? What's today?
Labor Day.
It's Labor Day. Shout out Labor. It's your day. You have a great day. We'll be back with more OTB next.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Go to Pinnacle Exterior Construction. PECbuilt.com is the website. At Pinnacle, they build the spaces, you build the memories. So, you want to make a pool, an outdoor kitchen, whatever it is. You want to put some turf in your backyard, just like any size or type of fence, pergolas, like it's all there at PECbuilt.com. I really want you to go check out the website, though, because when you see the gallery, you see the quality of the work, you see the artisanship that Pinnacle employs, it's going to blow you away. So let them make your backyard, your home, the thing you've always dreamed of it being. Go to PECbuilt.com today.
Yeah, they can do it commercial or residential. They can give you that pool. They can build any fence that you might need. They can change your outdoor living space as well. If you want to put that artificial turf into your backyard, a putting green, again, if you want to do it at your business, they can come in and they can handle all of that. Also, don't forget they can get that bulkhead installed for you at your house or your business. Check it out online. Everything they can do for you, PECbuilt.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Says BK ain't it, and he never will be. Again, I always, I've remained very impressed outside looking in. But this season now all of a sudden has a feeling that is going to probably put him on a bit of fraud watch at this point. Bobby Hall says, Rule 1 of Week 1 is to never overreact. We'll save judgment for after South Carolina. So if we still look flat on offense, that's when I'll start panicking.
It's not even the overreaction, because they have shown the last 2 years that they can get knocked out in Week 1 and still be relevant most of the season, if not all of it.
So that's my thing. Is
that part of it is fascinating, but also, like we said before the game, just imagine if you didn't have to fight like hell the rest of the year and damn near be perfect. Like that's a thing. Like, it is impressive how they fight back in the last 2 years.
I know they'll get better. I know they'll improve. I mean, again, because we've seen it the last 2 years, but that doesn't matter, because you cannot take you can't take a functional step forward. Like, they're going to have to improve to get better if they want to achieve that 9-3 record that we're talking about. So, yeah, like Jake's saying, it's not an overreaction. Because we know they'll probably get better and finish strong, but that's irrelevant, because we already know the whole point was you needed to improve on where you're weak. You needed to win this game 1.
Your next 7 openers: Clemson, Houston, Arizona State, Utah, I believe.
Which, I know I made jokes about wanting to play the Citadel to open up the season last night, but I would actually.
Why are you picking on the Citadel?
I don't know, actually. No idea why. But I don't actually mean that. I want to play in these big games. I just want you to be ready, and I want you to, and you need to win them. Like, I think these big games are good for teams. I think that you want to be courageous. You want to challenge yourself. And so, yeah, don't duck them. Don't try to run away from them. Which, by the way, all that talk of USC trying to cancel this game, which, again, was true, but all of us making fun of it and everything, it's just more egg on our face, just more embarrassing crow to have to eat. Mark Smith says, all about the coach. His team is undisciplined. $100 million for a Ford Pinto. Really? Hebert and Jacob says the defense was improved, but never going to be a one-off season project. Yeah, I mean, the defense was actually a bright spot, in my opinion. Again, they came up with that fourth down stop when you needed it most, and it was the offense, which is supposed to be the strength of the team. Think about it. What did we say Saturday? When we went through all those advantages and disadvantages for LSU, and we said LSU's better, almost all the advantages were offensive, Jake.
Yeah.
It was O-line, it was quarterback, it was tight end, it was wide receiver, and yet USC's quarterback played better. USC's wide receivers played way better. You probably got him at tight end. And USC's O-line, I would say, maybe did not play. It was a wash. I would call the O-line's a wash. So, yeah, I'm very disappointed in how large the step back was offensively.
You knew there would be a step back.
Yeah.
I think we didn't really know what that was going to look like. But, like, the rushing attack is really the same people that it was a year ago. It was just not even having Jaden Daniels. That's the obvious statement. You're in for 1,000 yards. Most dynamic playmakers in college football, recent memory. But just how USC just no threat of the quarterback run, it changed the way that they were playing the game, completely changed the narrative of the game.
And why couldn't you take advantage in the same way? Wasn't like Miller Moss is going to run. All right, hour 3 next.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Go to Accutemp of Baton Rouge, AccutempBR.com, AccutempBR.com. Fargo AC, heating, and electrical needs. You want to go to Accutemp, man, they're going to get you right. They say service to the highest degree, and that's not just lip service. They mean that. I mean, it's unreal. The lengths to which Accutemp is willing to go to make sure the job is done correctly. They send you full bios with people coming in your homes. You can trust them. They're the best. Service high degree. Go see why their ratings so high. Accutemp Baton Rouge, AccutempBR.com.
Yeah, go to those ratings because the internet, as we say, it hates everything, but it loves Accutemp. You're going to schedule that appointment today. Chances are they're going to get out there today, and you're going to know exactly who is coming in to your home. Going to send you a profile of exactly who that is and what they're going to be able to do for you. AccutempBR.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Monday, September 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect cloudy skies with a high of 95. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll kind of shift our focus towards college football as a whole and recap what we liked and didn't like from week 1. And we'll also have some weekend winners here in hour number 3. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Welcome back, OTB. Spencer, Silver Lining guys, Toyota-thon's right around the corner. Hell yeah, Spencer.
Yeah, Spence.
That's right, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Never forget, Toyota-thon coming up.
That's well played.
AD says, official AD says, this might not be a championship team, but you still have to play the game. Season over, hell, far from it. I want to be clear, guys. If I sound miserable right now, it is actually way more to do with the dynamics of being up at 5 a.m. doing this show. It's not actually about the game. Like, the game sucks, and there's a lot to break down there, and I'm very interested to dive into the film and see what else you could have done better. And really, like, the game kind of didn't suck. Again, I think it was very sharply played on both sides. I think there's some questionable things, like why didn't LSU try to stretch the field more? What exactly went wrong on those biggest running plays when you needed them? Like, there's definitely stuff to improve on, but it was not a bad game. I thought it was actually a very clean and pretty solid Week 1 football game. And hell no, the season's not over. It's going to be all we wait all. Do you know how much fun watching football this weekend was and last weekend? We wait all year for it. I'm not going to give up and just throw the what is it, the baby out with the bathwater. Like, nah, man, we going to come back. We're going to be pumped up. We're going to get excited for every game this season. So do not mistake just my maybe Eeyore approach today as being, oh, this team sucks, LSU sucks, I hate it. Hell no. I'm be riding every single Saturday ready to see what this team could do. I'm just tired. I'm just tired, and there's no false energy that can be mustered when for a 5th year in a row you go through the deflating experience that is losing in the season opener.
And so, like, the team has to realize too. Okay, for a 3rd year in a row, you are not going to get any attaboys next week. There's literally nothing you could do. You could win 100-0. You did the same thing against Southern and Grambling over the last 2 years. And look, you're going to go on the road in the SEC in week number 3, just like you kind of did last year at Mississippi State. There's nothing you can really do there that is going to give you a lot of attaboys and make people just say, you know what, I was wrong. You have to realize that, and you find that energy somewhere else, because it's going to be loud around you, and not like in a good way. Like, the loudness is going to be negativity.
Yeah.
UCLA, you're probably not going to get a lot of pats on the back there. South Alabama, same situation. So you have to, as a player, put your head down, go to work, don't feel sorry for yourself, and realize that until October the 12th, there's not really anything in a lot of people's eyes that I can do right, but you got to do the right things. And that's a challenge for this team, okay? Nichols, South Carolina, UCLA, South Alabama. You could and likely will win all 4 of those games, and nobody's going to care. But you can't care that they don't care. You have to go about your business and get ready for it like you're playing the next stretch of games, which is Ole Miss, Arkansas, A&M, Alabama, Florida, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, all right? You have to have the same mindset, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the different mindset. And it should have already been there because the last 4 years you've gotten beat in a season opener. It was there in portions in certain players last night because I don't want to just throw a blanket on this and say it was everybody. I agree with T. There was good. There was good there. I thought the defense played their ass off. I thought they fought all game long. Yeah. They weren't put in great situations. Sure, they lost one-on-one battles. But
they played it's tough to find success against players that are better than you. And I feel like man-to-man.
Their receivers were better than your DBs.
Yes. And you still managed to create enough success there. Like, the game should have ended 23-20. If I told you before the game you were going to give up 23 to USC, you would have thought that was a win.
Hell.
And you would do the stats, the TFLs, the forced fumbles.
Yeah.
If we would have laid out that box score and given you the score, you would have said LSU was going to win.
Hey, look. I know the talk was about Zachariah Branch coming in, and he had some moments. Certainly, as a returner, he scares me to death. As a receiver, he was the 6th leading receiver in the game in this contest, right? It was Kyron Hudson for me.
Yeah.
Kyron Hudson, when the ball was in the air, it was his. And that's the thing, right now, that you got to find a way to compete in those kind of one-on-one matchups.
Yeah.
Every DB for LSU is super talented. We know that. But when the ball was in the air last night, Kyron Hudson said, don't care where it's located. Don't care that I'm about to catch this and get a targeting call against me because I get my block knocked off. I'm going to hold on to the football, and I'm going to go make game-winning plays for my team. He had 5 for 83. He had 16.6 per catch, and every catch for him was meaningful. That's the one-on-one battles that we're talking about.
I mean, again, in the highest of leverage moments, because LSU did have some great high leverage moments. Like I said, coming back and scoring that touchdown after you go down 7-0 was a very good response to getting rocked on the chin. But in the highest leverage moments down the stretch, USC consistently made the plays. You did not. All right, let's go do some weekend winners.
That's how winning is done. That's how winning is done.
We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? Freak out. Gotta keep our composure. Gotta keep our too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes?
All right.
To win a championship?
My first weekend winner. Why am I blanking? Okay, I'll go to my second one that I had. Kind of you, Jake. I did not realize. So you just saw Joey Chestnut on the day that he is taking on Kobayashi live on Netflix.
Yeah, just hanging out, chilling in the Starbucks.
Literally the day that people have been building towards for well over a decade. The champ in Kobayashi, who was banned from the game, and now, in an ironic twist, Joey Chestnut joining Kobayashi and being banned from the game, and now they're both going outside of Nathan's and everything to do battle. Absolutely weekend winner.
Did not expect to see him. Certainly did not. Weekend winner. Oh man, weekend winner is kind of tough here in the current setting. But just having college football back is a weekend winner. And T-Bob mentioned it a little bit earlier. We had a chance to just kind of relax and sit down on Saturday. We watched a full slate of games. Really enjoyed it. Had a couple of bets out there. Getting a chance to be in a sports book. Which
I gotta go turn those in.
I've never really sat a sports book like that.
It's cool.
It is. To feel like you start hearing the cheers and you're like, wait a minute, which game are they trying to cheer for? And you're trying to find which TV had kind of a game-changing moment. And so just to have it back, it did not go the way that we wanted it to go. And, coming up this weekend with the Saints game, who knows where that ends up going. But it's just good to have it back. It was kind of good to be here and not have LSU play on that day just so we could just kind of sit back and relax. And we've been here a long time, too. We've been here a while.
Yeah, weekend winner, the U. I try to tell y'all boys,
you did.
The U is back. Coach O, I told you, man, Coach O's hot right now.
I think Cam Moore had a lot to do with it, but yeah, shout out.
Coach O, the last coach to win an opener here at LSU. No, I mean, look, man, the U made a statement in the Swamp on Saturday. It looks like they finally have the quarterback, right? And now that they have a leader under center that they can trust, all of that talent that we're always talking about, but never quite came to fruition, now it can, right?
Yeah.
Now it can shine. And did you see them going over and talking to the Florida recruits after the game? I mean, it could not have been a worse day for Billy Napier and company. The Canes, probably, I would say, Jake, the biggest weekend winner in all of college football.
Oh, they're certainly up there. They'll be the biggest jumper. They'll go from 19. They might go T-Bob inside of the top 10. So I'm with you. I mean, you were right. Everything played out. And Florida, my God, as bad as it is here today on this show, can you imagine doing a show in Gainesville, Florida today with that performance at home?
Oh, I wanted to play
like it's
a
a rival
outside the Denny's. Did you see that video I sent in the group?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But my man went.
My guy,
my man, 3.5 minutes of pain.
3.5 minutes. I feel you, bro. I feel your pain, bro. I'm metaphorically, I'm parked outside that Denny's as well, bro. I feel you.
I'd probably be Waffle House, but the whole point was he was outside of a Denny's. Iowa for me, weekend winner. Started slow. Scored 40 points.
I still think it's a little fraudulent, dude.
Scored 40 points. K. McNamara, 251 through the air, 3 tutters. The offense at Iowa has a pulse, baby. Weekend winner, Iowa Hawkeyes, 40-0. And the underhit.
Weekend winner, Idaho Vandals. Really, weekend loser, Oregon, bro. Here we are, sucking the Ducks all off season.
Yeah.
They did not look like a team that's going to win the Big Ten, man.
No. I mean, they struggled the entire game.
And it's kind of interesting,
Beat Idaho by 10.
Dylan Gabriel. I mean,
it was for 380. It's a weird game.
It was a weird game. It was a weird game. Okay, so weekend loser Oregon. I would say weekend winner Mississippi State.
Yeah, and Blake
Jeff
Shapen.
Lebby,
Yeah.
Blake Shapen looking confident, coming out, swagging out. I think okay, you want to talk about this is a week 1 overreaction, okay? So please let me acknowledge that this is ridiculous what I'm about to say. Dylan Gabriel can't get it done without Jeff Lebby. Can't do it, dude. Everywhere Gabriel had success, Jeff Lebby was always with him. Can't get it done without Lebby. Oregon not going to win the Big Ten. That's how I feel.
I mean, look, they beat Idaho 24-14. They did not look great. So
I mean, that's supposed to be the best team. Like, you think that team that played Saturday looks like Ohio State would trounce them.
And Georgia
like
would.
Michigan would try.
Georgia would
Georgia.
end them.
They don't even look like they belong in they don't even feel like they would belong in the same field as the Georgia Bulldogs. They're probably weekend winner, and Dabo's probably a big weekend loser.
Yeah, yep. That train's gone. That train has left the station, and Dabo is not on it. He is sitting there just watching it go far, far away from where he currently sits. He's got his bag in hand, thought he was on the train, and he is not. I don't know what they do there. That was bad. And Georgia did a lot of good, but in the first half, oh my God, when Georgia wasn't, Clemson still couldn't do anything.
It's like I saw a lot of good out of Clemson's defense, so I still think they're going to be relevant in the ACC because Georgia's Georgia, but but they're not going to be nationally relevant anymore at this point. Like whatever Clemson had is dead and gone.
Yeah. They are no longer a pillar of college football, certainly. Tedero McMillan, weekend
how about
winner.
him, bro?
10 catches, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns on the night. Arizona beats New Mexico 61-39.
I told you that Tedero should have been a 99 on that NCAA game. We were looking at players that should be. Weekend winner. Tennessee, Jake. Tennessee looked good. They had the cool unis, home crowd popping, the excitement of Nico Iamaleava just absolutely balling out there, dude. I mean, dropping dimes all over the field. Lance Hurd looking good at left tackle. I hate how good Tennessee looked. Like right now, if we were to score the SEC after one weekend, Ole Miss looked fantastic. Texas looked awesome. Actually, weekend winner Texas, Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning even getting in, engineering 2 touchdown drives. Alabama looked great. Like, where would you rank LSU after 1 week?
Oh, I'd have to certainly sit down and kind of look at the totality of the games. But all the teams that you just listed.
I mean, what did Mizzou do? Because you're definitely now behind.
I mean, they played Murray State and they won 51-0.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I guess I don't know, and maybe that's unfair because we played USC and all these other schools didn't, play great teams. But again, some teams looked way better than others in their execution against those lesser teams, and Tennessee especially, like the same way Miami looks like they have a quarterback, Tennessee looks like they have a quarterback as well.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee for me probably because you felt good about where they were at quarterback and receiver. I think Samson having 12 carries for 124 and 3 tuds is more important than anything else in the game because that was a question.
Always do too, right? Oh, but
it was
coming in.
Yeah, because you lost your backs and you weren't returning any of your leading rushers, and so Heupel wants to run the ball.
Yes.
Him and Lane Kiffin and Jeff Lebby too. They're known as spread guys, but that doesn't mean air raid. They run at a spread, and so if Heupel has a running back like that he can count on, that's when Tennessee's offense is the most scary.
Nookie says it was UT Chattanooga. Come on, UT Martin beat them again. Yes, I mean it's not the best teams, but I always.
Iamaleava went for what? He over 300.
I'm not sure what the actual stats were, but
314 and 3 tuds.
But that was all in one half of play.
Yeah,
314 and one half. So again, the execution was just at such a level where they feel like they're going to live up to the hype this year.
Huge weekend winner, Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
34-27 over Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech returned the second most production, I believe, in the country off a team that was pretty good last year, had some big wins.
They were the sexy ACC dark
They
horse
certainly
pick.
were. I talked so much about Virginia Tech and Kyron Drones in the offseason. Vanderbilt, and there was 7 or 8 times in this game, and T-Bob and I were watching it down at the book. We were like, there it is. There's the play. Vandy's going to blow it. And they didn't. I mean, to miss that field goal at the end of regulation and still come back in overtime and win that game, that was earned. Nothing about that was given. Shout out to Clark Lee, fullback, neck roll, and Vanderbilt for going and beating a really good team.
Go Tigers says it really takes all the excitement out of the season, lose the first game, so much hype and womp womp. Yeah, I mean, so it feels like it today, right? By tomorrow and the next day, we'll turn the page. We'll start to get really excited again. But unfortunately, Jake, I do think it's a kind of objective takeaway that you are not playoff. You're not a playoff team. Field's too crowded. There's too crowded. It is what it is. Which fine. That's fine. I mean, not everybody's going to be a playoff team. Not you. If you define your year on if you make the playoffs or not every single year, then you're going to be miserable more often than not. Like we said, I think when we did the math, it's like LSU should have made it about 25% of the time of the past 10, 15 years, something around there. So it's like you don't really want to use that metric anyway. But, yeah, I think mathematically, everything else, it would be truly shocking if LSU was a playoff team. So it's not to say that all the excitement of the season's gone. I'm still freaking pumped. It's still going to be so much good football to watch. But you're not one of the big dogs. You're kind of on the outside looking in at a lot of these other schools that feel like they're going to be competing for those spots.
Yeah, this week in this moment, you certainly do. And you mentioned it. Look, you had teams like Alabama A&M, Eastern Kentucky, Old Dominion,
Yeah.
UT Chattanooga, Furman, Western Kentucky, Colorado State, Temple, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Murray State. And so you have to realize that, but you can also trust your eyes and maybe what your eyes saw, with the actual play from that team. And so next week, again, you're not going to get a lot of credit, and you're still not going to get it down the road. But you have to go out and you have to play like these teams that we're talking about.
Yeah,
Like these teams went out there
yes.
and did what they had to do. They won 51-0, 70-0, 51-3, 52-0, 63-0, 76-0, 69-3. There was one more. 73-3, 56-7, and 31-0.
Yeah, the offense needs to gain some confidence after this week because they're going to watch this film and they're going to look at all the moments that they had where they could have closed out this game and they just could not come through, especially considering that they were moving up and down the field. Nusmeier, T-Town is Bama. I'm loving this. He's crying. I get it, man. Enjoy it. I'd be doing the same thing, That's the glory of sports is drinking your enemy's tears. All right. When we get back, Hold the Mayo coming up. Spread lines. Keep it locked. LSU. LSU. What does that even mean? OTB. I don't know, dude. LSU.
Off the bench.
Yeah.
Off the bench.
I can't believe we got a freaking 4-hour flight to get on. Oh, my God. Somebody could just knock me out and wake me up. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Toyota-thon around the corner, guys. Hell yeah. Just talk about it. Toyota-thon around the corner. You need a brand new vehicle. You want to buy a Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get excellent warranty coverage. Maybe just need a rent. You're going on vacation or something, man. Hit them up. They got cheaper per day rental price traditional companies. And if you need a service center body shop, they got your back. Also, Toyota Baton Rouge. Also, ToyotaBatonRouge.com.
Yeah, go to the website today. See what they have available for you and how they can meet your needs, your family's needs, because they have something for everyone. Sequoia, they got the Sienna if you need something larger. They've got the Tacoma, the Tundra if you're looking for a truck. Sedans, just a ton of them. Hybrids, mid-size SUVs, they have multiple options. And so you can tell no matter what you're looking for, they have multiple options in every single category. Go to the website today, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
Hit me. Yeah, I love it. Right in the chest this time, T, baby. Yeah. You already know. You already know.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Reminder, Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com for all your steel needs, guys. They're in Gonzales, Louisiana. They got you, man. They local. Any purlin, tubing, roofing, sheet metal, steel buildings that you need, Community Steel has it, man. You go see the product, touch it, feel it. You can deal with a live and local sales team, right? Actual human beings that you form relationships with. So if it's like a business that you're buying for, maybe it's just personal, either way, they can best serve your needs. And they give it at the best prices because there's no middleman jacking up the price on the back end. They go straight from the wholesaler to manufacturing their own product. And, well, you reap the benefits. Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com. Let's go with that live right now. It's Monday Night Hidane, which means it's time to go with our guy, Devin Snow, a.k.a. Hold the Mayo, who, Dev, football season, huh?
I could just hear the the hurt in your tone. You know what I'm saying? Can't hide it.
Football season.
Saints
coming up.
Crazy,
the Saints are gonna. The Saints are guys. See, look at you two. Okay, you two. You better hope Derek Carr is who I say he is. Derek Carr is the only one who can save us at this point, boys.
Yeah.
It's probably just going to make us more miserable, almost assuredly. But I don't know, bro. The Saints got to do something here, dude. They got to save us.
Well, God sends his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers. And Derek Carr, we can look at it this way. Derek Carr has an opportunity to become one of the most loved humans in Louisiana history if he can do anything great this year.
Anything, dude. Just anything. Please, Derek, please.
They will write books about Derek Carr if he could go from the most hated dude in the state to now got the opportunity to really, let's just see. Because this sucks, man. People have put this so many different ways on the internet. Here's the best way to put it. Dude, nobody wants to lose the first game of the year. Just is what it is. It's a weird, crappy feeling.
Well, especially in college, right? NFL, you lose the first game. It's like, okay, it's the league. You don't want to go 0-2 because there's all the stats about never making the playoff. But you survive losses in the league. In college, it's just like you just prick. You just prick the balloon. It's just deflating, I think, is probably the word that I go back to. And we're going to get back up. We're going to have fun. We're going to watch football on Saturdays. But, already now that you're not one of the national players, and that's a little disappointing. A lot disappointing.
And 21 years of, you know what I'm saying? Anytime somebody brought up USC to me, I hit them with the,
Yeah. Yeah. LA's embarrassed us. I'm talking all this soft West Coast
both
BS.
Teams.
And UCLA and USC both out-physicaled you and embarrassed you when you played them.
I mean, you want to lose a lot of money. The feeling that I had about both of those games, UCLA and USC, about LSU playing those teams, you couldn't have told me that they weren't going to smoke them. And the USC hurts the most because of the 2003 stuff.
Yep.
And just always being like, man, if we ever got our hands on those dudes, we would crumble them like a stale cookie just crumbles. And we showed none of that really. I don't know. This is a tough watch too at home It's crazy. The commercials in 2024, when you watching a football game now, dude, they run longer than a line at Circle K. It's crazy, bro. Like, it's just, dude, long and long commercial takes you out the game. So I don't know, man. It was a weird vibe for me.
And now, like T said, we're all hoping Derek Carr can be the savior.
Don't worry, bro. He's got it, bro.
Look,
he's got it. How could
I'll
he
just
not
take a
be
win.
good? How could he not be good with those receivers in that O-line?
Oh,
what are you talking about?
Yeah. Let's have that conversation. That's gonna be fun. I mean, Dev, what else is gonna save us like right now?
Just a win. Just a win. Yeah. We don't need to be saved. We just need to be, led in a decent direction. So that's the opportunity he's got against Carolina. Watched a lot of football this past weekend, right? So you quickly get reminded that sometimes, how it looks before the game starts isn't the way it's going to go. So it looks like we should beat Carolina. But, man, football just humbly reminds you every time you watch it that, guess what? None of that really matters. And especially in the NFL, Bryce Young could have his best game of his career this Sunday in the Superdome. It actually kind of makes sense when you talk about it because that's what young quarterbacks usually do in the Superdome. But anyway, let's see what Derek's got for us, man. Who's got more haters to prove wrong than Derek Carr? In the world.
No, I mean, wait, Dev, are you the man behind the agenda on Twitter?
No.
For those that don't know, there is a Saints Twitter phenomenon starting to take place in our movement, maybe is the better word. And it's all about playing Spencer Rattler, and it's called #TheAgenda. And like Mina Kimes was talking about it. It's really. Do y'all remember Tuanon from a few years ago?
Yeah.
When Dolphins Twitter was all trying to defend Tua. This feels a bit like Tuanon. Are you the leader of the agenda, Dev?
No, I could never.
Are you sure? Are you lying right now? Because I know you love Rattler.
I do love Rattler, but I could never organize that type of, campaign. that's beyond me. But whoever did start it, I mean, they deserve. I don't know, man. It's a crazy movement already for a dude that ain't even played a regular season game. But I respect it.
Deb, what else?
Hey, shout out John Emery. I want to shout him out.
Yes, thank you. We need a little positivity. I agree.
Yeah. I want to shout out John Emery just because, I had a feeling that he was on the beans, and he is on the beans. Dude just overcame a lot of adversity and was the best running back last night. Had the biggest plays, end of the third quarter. Dude was really – he was cooking. It's one thing I noticed about LSU last night. They had a couple dudes who were cooking. Nuss was cooking, and then we would kind of go away from it, just run it right up the center's butt, into the center's butt. And it was just – I don't know, man. It got conservative. And
what happened to Kyron Lacey and Mason Taylor, bro? They were kicking ass.
That was your two guys.
Couldn't
stop those two guys in the first half and just couldn't find them with a search warrant in the second one. Howard Perkins, they done completely mentally abused to the point to where he don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro.
He had the one good play in the first half where he basically that perfect they tried to run a little zone read and he perfectly played it, but you keep hoping, man. You keep hoping to see that Hercules that seemed to make the biggest plays and the biggest moments back in the day, and unfortunately, it's just nowhere to. It's just not showing up. I thought, bro, Savion Jones had a great game.
Dude, Savion Jones, bro, my favorite player on the defense last night, hands down.
I agree, dude.
Bro, dude looks like a force. I love 35, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple players that felt like on defense, at least, that they gave you maximum effort and they were making plays. Savion Jones is one. I thought, look, Whit Weeks had tackle and a half for loss. I thought he kind of flashed for LSU's defense as well. I mean, it was much better than it was a year ago just by the eye test. It's just those one-on-one matchups, they weren't able to make the play on the outside. But there's a couple of guys to point out, and Savion Jones and Whit Weeks, to me, were two of the brightest spots.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And also on offense, the little dude, Anderson.
Yeah,
Little dude
how about
Anderson.
Aaron Anderson finally making plays?
Bro.
Yeah, how about that, dude? After a year of not really playing last year and coming over from Alabama, supposed to be fast, he didn't make an impact. I thought that was a really, really good moment for him last night.
So we'll see, man.
What's going on in spread quarters today? How are you going to be dealing with the pain? I loved your picture of you tailgating at the LSU game back in 2007, dude. Oh my God.
Dude, you know what day that was, bro? That Hester, that was Florida, LSU.
That was the Florida game?
Dude, look, bro. You cannot. I don't care what happens now. Nothing will ever be better than those days right there. It was incredible.
Y'all, that crew you're with, y'all look like y'all rustled up some just mid-ass Reggie weed,
Yeah.
smoking it in the porta potty, getting pumped up for the game, sneaking beers. I mean, were you 21 at the time? Were y'all having a –
Dude, what? I was 07, so I was 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, and dude, that is the first days of like wrestling, like weed and like alcohol. You know what I'm saying? It's the first days you ever like get to like battle them, and it's like they whoop you, bro. And that's what it looks like when I got whooped.
Oh man, hey, so what are you gonna do to make yourself feel better today for spread quarters?
Oh man, I don't know. If it was up to me, I'd pull out that crock pot right now and just throw some red beans in that. Cause dude, I'm hurting too. You know.
I know, bro.
And it's not even like drinking or anything like that. It's actually just the pain of, man, I think it's worse than a hangover when you lose the first game of the year. It sucks.
Yeah, and again, we laid it out earlier, Dev. There's really nothing this team. They could go beat Nicholls, South Carolina, South Alabama, even UCLA. And is that going to make you feel any better?
I don't know. I know them last two teams, dude. I will never bet on those two teams again.
I mean, it's like, you know, you're not gonna.
South Alabama and UCLA, that was a ride, man.
Bruh, if we lose to UCLA, I mean, it's not gonna happen. I don't think UCLA is any good this year, but
no, I gave them a run for sure.
Well, Dev.
Yeah, the betting was tough. The betting was tough, man. You know, South Alabama killed me. UCLA. Who was the other team? Oh, Michigan State. Oh, my God. Dude, that's the most brutal football game I've ever watched.
Aiden Chili's.
Rock fight, yeah.
Aiden Chili's. So my quarterback, my guy Chili's, wasn't good?
Dude, he was off.
Hype up?
He was off, bro. For a guy that said bet the over, man, did he lie.
Wait, he said that before the game? Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
It's like Campbell, you know, we're showing up for a fist fight. Well, yeah, you got your ass kicked, bro. I mean.
Yeah. Somebody said a tickle fight.
I mean, hey, look, a fist fight. The thing is, it was a fist fight, but a fist fight can go either way. And unfortunately, you ended up on the ground. Dev, hcmsports.com/shop. You got some great merch going down right now. Tell everybody where to watch all the Saints post-game shows, everything.
Yeah, subscribe. Not the first show of the year, but the first real show of the year is this Sunday after the Saints play the Panthers. Hold the Mayo on YouTube. Almost to 10,000 subscribers. It's been
Let's go.
Yeah, you know, I really started taking YouTube more serious last year. So it's been a slow ride, but we getting there. So subscribe if you want. And then I'll see y'all next week, hopefully after a win.
Hell yeah, baby. Take it easy, Dev. We'll talk to you next week. Dev Snow, a.k.a. Hold the Mayo, atmsports.com/shop. Go get you some Red Beans merch, guys. More OTB coming up next.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. If you need Hardy Plank or vinyl siding, wood or vinyl windows, any type of door, any type of doors, window siding, you go to Tommy's and just make them one of the bids, guys. I keep telling you that. Just make them one of the bids. I'm not saying that you have to just outright use them. Make them one of the bids. Let them get that free professional estimate and let Tommy's prove to you why they are the right people for the job. The level of detail, the commitment, the effort, it is unparalleled. You will not find better. Go to GoTommy's. That's GEAUX Tommy's.com. GoTommy's.com.
Yeah, go to the website today and check out a gallery of work that they've done in the past, testimonials from past clients. But also remember, when you're checking out the gallery, they can do your custom job as well. So you'll see the work that they can do in the gallery and everything T-Bob just said. But don't forget, they can custom your job and do what you're looking for your home. GoTommy's.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Hester and T-Bob.
Let's go. Good call with the money trees there, Jordan. Hey, great job by Taylor and Jordan producing back home, man. Doing really well. I got to give a shout-out, though, guys, to Bo Wegman, producer extraordinaire here on site. Bo has been absolutely grinding this trip. He's been moving unreal amounts of equipment all over the place. He even had AFR set up in the airport before we left on Thursday.
It's true.
Shout out Bo. He does not get paid enough whatever he gets paid. My man was kicking ass all weekend long. Weekend winner, Bo Wegman.
Yeah,
Shout out, dog.
Say Bo.
I mean, look, I think we've said our piece on LSU, Jake. What else? What were your favorite moments from the college football weekend?
I think Vanderbilt was probably the one that stood out to me, just because they hadn't touched their stadium since the 70s, and they finally get administration to buy in. they touched their stadium for the first time, and like they really upgraded, and the atmosphere was great. Sure, it's a lot of Virginia Tech fans, but you're in Nashville, inherently that's going to happen. But to win that game, and not only against a Power 4 team, but a team that had real expectations, and then so many moments you had where it looked like you were going to, unfortunately, give it back to them because we're like, sure, Vandy.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. Even with missing the field goal as time expired, they still went out there. And again, they have a football operations building now. They've never had that. They now have a stadium that is up to the standard of, Power 4 SEC football with the suites and the end zones that they've added there. And nobody knows the difficulties of how hard it is to win at Vanderbilt more than Clark Lee. He played there. He understands the difficulties, and he hits that straight on. So big win for them. Certainly probably the brightest spot for me on the weekend.
I think for me, I think the U and the statement made and the swamp and really just the kind of dual benefit then of because maybe we don't want Miami to do good because they I don't know. I feel like some people because what they represent, but I ain't mad at Florida being embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at the swamp just emptying out in complete rage. Recruits getting shouted. How about Ashton Jonty from Boise State? He ran for 267 and 6 tuds, Jake. How about you mentioned?
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, 267
Georgia
and
Southern?
6 tuds
Against Georgia Southern. Yeah.
How about you mentioned Iowa earlier. What was the stat we saw? Iowa threw 3 touchdowns to wide receivers in the second half. That was more than the entirety of the last 2 seasons. I think they threw 2 each of the last 2 seasons. So, yeah, very much back.
Look, that is a team that if they just do a little bit on offense, they have an elite defense.
Yeah.
Cade McNamara, he's led a team to a playoff before.
You know what I hate?
How
good it feels to be a Texas fan right now.
Yeah.
Because Quinn Ewers looked awesome, and then Arch Manning came in and looked so crisp. Engineered 2 sharp touchdown drives. But you know what I don't hate? You know what I love, Jake?
What?
Dylan Raiola, bro. Did you watch any of it?
I did. I did watch a little bit of it.
It's got that little Mahomes, little arm angle, little swaggy, little back foot floating in the air.
They got a big one.
Balls, dude.
Colorado next week. This week. Hell, what day is it? I don't know.
Bro, Nebraska is going to smash Colorado. Guaranteed.
Line 7 right now for Nebraska?
Guaranteed.
That's going to be in your pontoon parlay?
Matt Rule. I'll have to see. My pontoon parlay bet, I feel bad, was lazy and awful, but I actually had a great gambling weekend. Won every night, but stayed away last night because, of course, LSU in an opener. I'm never picking – guys, if I ever pick LSU to win an opener again and you see me in public, this is on record. I give you permission to walk up and kick me in the nuts as hard as you want. And I will not fight back. I will not get
Just
mad.
say, you know why?
Yes, I will not press charges. It will be well-deserved at that point.
Yep.
All right, when we get back, Ask the Bench, close out the show. Holly, y'all.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys at 225-888-8888. You get Gordon today. And, look, man, you need somebody who's going to stand up to big insurance companies and fight for you when you get in an accident, who's going to beef you at those bad moments. That's Gordon McKernan. So go to getgordon.com. You can see past results from satisfied customers. Follow them on social media at Get Gordon. See a lot of content with your favorite athletes, the G team. Get Gordon, get it done.
Go to the website, getgordon.com, and you can literally do it all. You can see everything that they can do for you in the courtroom, but also on social media. When you go to that handle, at Get Gordon, again, at Get Gordon is going to be the handle on all major social media. You can see what they're doing in the community. You can see what they're doing for your favorite athletes throughout the state of Louisiana. Speaking of the state of Louisiana, if you want to give them a call, put your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add mountain.
You now tuned in to WUTP Radio. We're your hosts for the night, Cool and Dre.
Welcome back to Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. I do want to remind you, KTOZblinds.com, KTZ window coverings. If you want, look, any shutters, window coverings, honeycomb shades, whatever the case may be, you want that drop-down exterior shade like Jake's got in the backyard. So while you're watching football outside or you're grilling, you stay cool. No glare on the TV. It cools off the inside, the outside. The deal is with KTZ, you don't actually realize the functional impact that they can have, right? It's not just aesthetics. It's both. You get the experts out of your home within 15 minutes. You're going to know more about how your home interacts with the sun and everything else you would have dreamed. Go to KTZ Window Coverings, KTOZblinds.com. And that way when you're watching LSU and you're yelling and cursing and looking like a petulant child like me, you're at least hidden from your neighbors.
Yeah.
Thanks to your
Where'd
shades.
you watch the game yesterday?
Here.
Was there other fans?
Hell yeah. We were rolling up here. It was great. Until it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was tight. The crowd was cool. Stadium looked cool. I ran around it yesterday, but
it
I
was
did not
good.
get to go inside.
It was good until
I
it wasn't.
I don't like moving. I don't like during the game. I gotta be in the same spot. I gotta be locked in. As the bench, you got any good bets on the FSU game tonight? I lost my parlay, my LSU money line this week. Need some positive energy on this.
I don't know.
Monday night football game.
EJ Manuel just texted me earlier and said take BC, and he's a Florida State guy. I don't know what that means. He was having a lot of fun talking about USC too. You lost to Georgia Tech. Settle down.
I think USC is actually going to be a good team. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm just like, and maybe LSU's worse than we think, but like, I actually think USC looked like a good team. And instead of, I said Lincoln Riley was kind of wobbling going into this game, but that this game kind of represented a golden ticket for him, and that if he wins this, everything is all well. And Lincoln Riley, he cashed that ticket, baby.
It was a big win, and yeah, I mean, he had some good quotes after the game. He's like, hey, that right there, that was a Big Ten football game.
It was.
Like, he was trying to say, hey, we
True.
can do that too, which we didn't think he could get it done, but they did.
Who would have guessed that USC would have had a better weekend than Oregon when USC played LSU and Oregon was playing Idaho? The Vandals. I mean, then again, didn't the Vandals cause the fall of the Western Roman Empire? Maybe Vandals are just built different, dude. I hope everybody has a great Labor Day. I agree, chap. Blake Baker's doing his damnedest to make chicken salad out of chicken poop. Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like the coordinator, I feel like Blake elevated the defense. I feel like I'm very disappointed that LSU, though, did not upgrade more in the secondary, especially when you look at, like, USC and their whole secondary, a lot of it, like, big-time transfers that ended up playing very well.
Yeah, they did.
What,
three? I think three of them, and then you just really did. You grabbed one. And then the player you grabbed, they started to target.
Ask the bench, did Will Campbell just jump offside again? Edward O. Lincoln Riley ate BK's lunch and supper. God, that's just such a bad sentence to read, and so sad that it's true. All right, guys. Hey, look. We love you. Thank you for coming out. We're gone. Get me out of this hellscape of a city. We'll see you next time. More OTB.
Off the bench. Off the bench.
Hey, so we're actually very excited to be partnered with a new sponsor. And it's actually the group that sponsored this trip here to Vegas. That is Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Don't settle for mediocre sex life, okay? We only have so long on this earth, okay? You don't want your sex life to be the equivalent of losing 5 season openers in a row. There's no need for that disappointment. You can maximize your sexual potential with Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Go check them out today. You go to yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com.
Yeah, testosterone replacement therapy and alternatives there. T-Bob mentioned the sexual dysfunction portion of it. Anti-aging is something you can have. Certainly a consultation with Goodwood about. Also PRP hair rejuvenation. So many different services they offer for you. Find them on their website, yourgoodwood.com.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques, Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.